McDowell's supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene of vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay By Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosley Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosley.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains, and illnesses? When there's help for you. At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains, and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild. The power to heal, the future of pain relief.
Live streaming has become one of the best ways to connect the funeral of a loved one with friends and family, both local and international. NBC Television will live stream your funerals on television and Facebook at a reasonable rate. With our state-of-the-art equipment, you can be assured that the quality of your funeral will be to your satisfaction. Call our office now and book your obituary and streaming with us. 758-453-7458.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluffs. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with big issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Another wonderful Thursday afternoon to you, everyone. Welcome once again to The Real Issues. It is the 22nd day of the month of January 2026. I'm Shelton Daniel, your host and producer, going it solo again today. Terry Fenelon has decided to, as he put it, stand down today. I think we all know what he's going through. We've said it ad nauseum. A little later, I'll be having a guest, but not in the final half hour, as I did yesterday, and which I suspect put you off quite a bit because you're accustomed that the final half hour is the time that we open the phone lines. But today I'll be having a guest who will be coming in after the 1 p.m. ad break, so there'll be more than sufficient time. And in fact, because I believe you may have been a little bit shortchanged, a little bit disoriented, put off by the timing of the guest yesterday, let me tell you that if you call any time from now, at the very opening of the program, I will entertain you. We want what we do on The Real Issues to be a large part centered on you, driven by you. You're the reason, after all, that we do this for. Thank you very much for being part of it. Our program airs weekdays from 12:30 until 2 p.m. on the radio station. That's Real FM, serving you on two frequencies, 91.3 for the north and 91.5 for the south. We simulcast on our sister television station, MBC Television, Channel 120 on the Flow Cable TV service. We are on Facebook Live and we are on YouTube live streaming as well. A good day to you people in the Real Issues WhatsApp chat group, and to my cousin Boro, who posted some pictures. I didn't know what they were about. Apparently he wanted to show. He lives in Barbados, from Lapwet Miku, but lives in Barbados for a long time. Think married and has established his family. And put in several pictures of the construction work that he is engaged in. That's where he derives his livelihood from. And apparently he had gone to Jamaica as part of the relief efforts from the last massive hurricane that really devastated parts of Jamaica. And he was showing the work that they were doing. I didn't know what it was, Boro. I deleted them because one of the things I'm virtually obsessed with about the Real Issues WhatsApp chat group is that it not become overly cluttered, that we don't have things that are not really relevant. Maybe if you had put a little explanation that these are pictures of Barbadian construction crews doing relief work in Jamaica, I might have left it. But too often I find that the group, some people mistake what it's about and they put whatever tickles their fancy inside there. You may be a church person, but you go posting church services and a lot of things like that. It may seem good to you, but you might be putting off quite a few people. And sometimes, I've said that before, I have to wait. So it's not a matter of me just showing you I don't want your stuff and deleting it and so on. I want to keep it streamlined. I want to keep it sharp. I want to keep it focused. I want to keep it, on a pencil point in terms of what we're dealing with. And I've seen too many groups go awry and haywire because of this. Everybody forwards something, some flyer, something, especially when it comes to prayer. You get the sense that people want to outdo and outshine each other to show that they have nicer prayers and more powerful prayers and things that they can, before you know it, religion and religious things and so on, they become, they virtually become a frenzy. Everybody wanting to put in a prayer and some kind of flyer with some kind of inspirational saying, and then before you know it, it clutters and chokes and clogs the group and the discussion that is supposed to be taking place. Absolutely. I've never seen a greater competitiveness among people than in religious matters, with people wanting to outshine each other and so on. And that's not necessary. My personal, and I don't want to impose too much of my personal thing, is that when we pray, people talk about the powerful prayers and so on. The power is not in the prayer, my friend. The power is in the one to whom the prayer is addressed. And I'm assuming that I'm talking to Christian people and people who follow the belief system that I did. But I think it would equally apply to Islam and so many others. The power is in the one to whom the prayer is addressed, namely God. The power is not in the prayer. Most prayers are feeble, plaintive pleadings and so on to a divine being, to someone, a higher power and so on in the situation that you find yourself, etc. Even the prayers of praises and so on, but not your prayer that holds the power that you can force God or move God to do anything, So I don't know about all these people, the competition for prayer and so on that seems to be going on. Anyway, that's not what I intended to talk about. Good afternoon to you people on the Facebook Live as well. I intended to come to you yesterday, but sometimes I'm sorry, maybe it's my age, my era, and so on. I can't really scroll through the comments. Other times I can. Sometimes it's a black screen that I get where only a narrow segment of the comment shows. Other times it shows up for me. Haven't really quite figured it out, and believe me, it's a bit frustrating. But thank you for keeping things rolling over. Now, what I wanted to start talking about was the situation on the roads, and I'm very happy to see that one of St. Lucia's, it seems, most regarded, respected driving instructors has come and has spoken out about this. But before I really go to it, let me extend birthday greetings to Sayana Rambali. And it's from someone, a close relative, your brother, in fact, who's wishing you God's guidance, protection, and richest blessings. He says, this is your day. Enjoy, rejoice, and be glad. Greetings coming from your beloved brother Ted. Now, I wouldn't have given away Ted, but, I looked and I said, small world, I've been a friend of Ted King. I think he's a corporal or a sergeant in the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. Very nice guy, a cop focused on policing and so on. But, he knows that you got to be polite, courteous, hospitable, welcoming to people. And, the kind of guy who'll smile, but, somewhere there you never forget that this is a cop, he's not on Papi Show. Man full of respect. I think some police, because they're police and they wear the uniform and the insignia they bring to it, like they feel they need to have some attitude to be regarded and respected as cops, not Ted King. I'm saying small world for as long as I have known Ted King, and I've known San Rambali maybe for even longer. I never knew that they were brother and sister. I know, yes, she's Rambali by marriage, married to Rudolph Rambali, I think. And I believe she was at one time the person managing, if not Rambali's, the funeral parlor. She was managing some auto business or some other business down in the Bexon area. Very pleasant, down-to-earth lady and so on. And, I want to join your brother Ted in wishing you a happy birthday, Sayana. I saw you since I came from Antigua, maybe once or twice, but from a distance, and I'm not too much into argilaying people, and I figured I might have to reintroduce myself and tell you it's me, Sayana, I'm so and so and so. I figured let you go about your business, Some people, they like this argilay business too much, and sometimes they argilay you when you're crossing a busy road. And on 2 occasions in the past month, people who I know very close, relatives, etc., have tried shouting me when I'm crossing a road. And they're persistent, Shelton, Mr. Daniel. And you're in the middle of the road trying to get to the other side. Well, I ain't going to answer you. Or maybe I might just give you a little wave over the shoulder without looking back. I might shout you back. I don't like the shouting thing. There's too much shouting and blowing of horn, when I reach the other side, safely, then I turn around and I look to see who it is, that was calling me. I ain't turning around and letting myself be distracted when I am crossing a road, a busy road, which goes for almost all roads nowadays. Almost all roads are busy, and I'll tell you why I say that in a while. Then I'll turn around and I'll tell you, okay, I'll answer you now. But nobody don't try to call me or shout me when I'm crossing a road. That is a sure formula for getting knocked down and so on. You're supposed to keep your attention on what you're doing on crossing the road. So don't come and agile me. Don't come and shout me. And sometimes it's just a hail up, It's nothing to say urgent. I find too many people, they put too much in a hail up. And I'm not an unfriendly fella. But for heaven's sake, if I'm in the busy traffic, I'm trying to keep my, my mind focused on what I'm doing, whether as a pedestrian or as a driver. Hey man, Shelton, and one my way, one like day, and it's just a little hail up. It's not to say, well, hey, I have a message or I had something to tell you. I wanted to see you. It's a good while, and I don't know how to get in touch with you. It's just a little hail up. People don't invest so much, into a hail up, to shout somebody that you can put them off at a critical time, And the other thing, sometimes it sounds almost scandalous, shouting you and all of that. And I have nothing to hide. I have nobody I fear. I don't fear anybody has a hit on me. They may have to shoot me. Who am I? And so on. But sometimes I feel a little bit sheepish and embarrassed when I'm somewhere and maybe people don't recognize me and they don't know who you are, and somebody comes in and, hey, Shelton, like they just want people to know. They know that you are Shelton and they know who you are. And then, it's like all eyes are on you, and at that time, that is something you wish to avoid. Not every time I wonder, hey, I know that voice, I know that this, it happens enough. I'm not looking for, attention and all of that and so on. One day I was sitting having a little eat, in that place on the boulevard, those shops where it used to be an open alleyway before their shops and so on. And there's a nice shawarma place which I like, which they don't just give you the chicken or the fish or the lamb, which I think are the three meats that they shred and so on. I like the fact that it has a lot of salad in it, green salad. I just find too much food is being served in St. Lucia that one, it is too dry. It's always just a bagay wussy and barely any liquid in it and so on. So you have to, that's why I don't eat macaroni and cheese, and because I find these meals I usually don't, because they don't need gravy, so to speak. I want my provisions, I want so on. I want a broth, I want a bouillon. I want to feel something that I can swallow every time. Like I told you already, too much rice, too much flour, too much pasta and mac and cheese and chow mein or spaghetti or noodles, whatever they call it. Give us some of our local food and so on. So I was inside there enjoying it. May have been a fish and salad. The people inside there, they probably know me. They know when I come. Is give me a fish and salad. Oh, we have no fish right now. Okay, well, give me the mutton and salad. Or lamb, I think they call it. Or give me, I seldom eat chicken because you get it so much. So I'm there enjoying a little chicken and salad, as austere as it gets. I don't eat fries. I try because my whole dietary needs fries and so on. And I've heard that fries generally is not the healthiest food. So I probably just go eat the chicken or the fish and the salad and so on. I'm sitting there eating it and I'm saying, wow, look at me, And a guy passes and the guy knows me. Mr. The guy sees me all the time, We live not too far from each other, but I don't know what happened to him that day. I've known this guy like forever. He has never behaved that way. Mr. Daniel, what's up? One of these days, you and I will have to go walking together because it's your way to... Saying, hey, but yeah. What happened to him? He was so hyper. And in that little closed space, when somebody rose their voice, it reverberates. And I'm saying, but what's this about? He can't be trying to embarrass me. Embarrass me what? With my weight? Who knows me knows I'm comfortable in my skin. I don't, my thing is whatever it is and so on. I don't have any shame. I carry myself around whatever. Whether people find I look like a big bululu or whatever it is, I am who I am, by the grace of God and so on. I've had the days when I was pencil thin and so on. But the guy kept on and on and on, and I'm there. And I said hello to him, and then I realized this is just my way. I went back to it and I said, but what was this about? Until I realized an election campaign is on. An election campaign is on. I'm not dressed in any red or anything. And a relative of mine had whispered to me and said, this particular uncle of mine, I really thought better of him and that he was more intelligent, but the guy is really a flabo, really. I said, but the fact that he's a flabo doesn't mean he's unintelligent. And then I realized, hey, I've known this guy for so long. He's never behaved this way. He worked overseas for a long time, good at what he does. And I said, okay, maybe he just feels he needs to take a shot at me for some reason or the other. But talking about distraction, people, I'm so happy to see that one of St. Lucia's most regarded driving instructors has weighed in on the spate of recent serious traffic accidents that we've had, in which, we've had a few fatalities, so far for the year. And pointed out that one of the main problems, that we've had, one of the main problems that we've had is distracted driving. And yes, it's true. I mean, I was horrified. I know people may glance at their phones, but the guy is driving. He wasn't driving too fast, but the man is on a road, the main road, and you can see him and he's driving and the man is looking at his phone. I had time to look at him because I wanted to say, but wait, how can you focus on the road, a busy road in the northern part of St. Lucia? And I wonder how many of the accidents, like that young man in Vieux-Fort who died. I'm not saying I know anything. I can't tell you whether he was tipsy. Maybe the guy wasn't drinking at all. But when I looked at the way he veered away from his side, he left his side and went completely to the other side and his vehicle slammed. It could be anything, yeah. It could be a blackout. It could be, but I looked at him and I said, I wonder, given his age group, young person, whether he did not get distracted by a call, by something flashing on his phone screen, and by the time he checked himself. And there are so many variables that can work in those things. Sometimes you let yourself get distracted, a vehicle is coming towards you, it's dark already, but the craziness that's happening on the road. We go from the extreme of people having their headlights and their fog lights on together at the highest of high beam it can be, and you get people who are driving without lights in the night, or they just have their park lights. Now, if you tell them they have their park light, but a park light does not project as far in the distance as somebody can, be able to see it and to give you a sense of not just the fact that there's another vehicle, but what is the distance between you and that vehicle? How fast is that distance being closed as your vehicle and them reach each other? People driving on park lights, people taking off their headlight, driving only on fog lights. So it distorts your sense of how high the vehicle is. Park light will come on the moment you switch on your headlights. When you turn that first turn of the light button, is your park light that going to come on? And together with it, your backlight, it will get brighter when you hit the brake. That's what I know. But you're supposed to be driving once sun sets. And even if you don't listen to the metaphor, sun sets today at 6:20 or whatever, the moment the street lights are turned on, it's a general rule that you should turn your lights on. It's I'm not saying, but it's a general rule. Turn on your lights when people driving if any way they want with their lights and do it. So sometimes the additional things that can give you a little bit of perception of where you are on the road in relation to other people, it is being damaged and distorted. But back to the distracted driving thing. While I was in Antigua the last time, they found it necessary to pass a law. A law making it an offense to be driving while distracted by things like your phone and so on. And I remember the Attorney General, still holding the position, Mr. Stedroy QT Benjamin, saying they had to take that step because while there were already laws for driving without due care and attention, but the whole evolution of technology and the use of phones and so on had brought about a new challenge that a lot of people felt that they could use. One day I was interviewing, I think, a police commissioner, and he said, would you believe there are people who are texting while driving? And I couldn't believe it. He said there are people who are driving and they're texting. Now, folks, looking at your phone, maybe pressing a button, answering your call, whatever is one thing. But for someone, how can you concentrate on a road and you're apparently there are people who feel they can do it. It's too much bother for them to pull off on the side of the road, etc., etc. People are texting. So they passed a law actually to specifically target the matter of distracted driving, particularly as it pertains to the use of electronic devices and so on. There are other categories as well. And this is a problem I find with the laws. We have too many laws layered one on top of the other when we already have laws to deal with the problem. Why should we need any other law, that deal with phones and texting and so on, when we already have a law that I think it is an offense, driving without due care and attention? I think that is the charge that you will face. But we are creating the layers of complication and we are compounding things to the extent. And sometimes when you speak about it, before you say somebody, but there are laws about that. Yeah, there are laws. How many laws we have? The question about the laws is the application and the enforcement of the laws to apply them to particular situation. You need to bust. You can't bust everybody who driving with high beam, LED, white lights and so on. But you bust a few, word will go around. This matter of the fog lights, we don't have fog in St. Lucia. Fog is a particular weather or meteorological phenomenon which we do not have in St. Lucia. Yes, we have sometimes of obscuration because of atmospheric and weather conditions, especially at higher elevations in Plateau and the Bardilil, particularly on Forestier, late at night or early in the morning and so on. Yeah, you may, but not as a regular thing that fog lights have become. You need to get to enforcing some of the laws and busting people. I remember there was a traffic regulation which spoke to the light being an amber-colored light, etc., etc., the wattage and so on that it gave it. Whatever it is, Peter being exceeded all for style and fashion. Now, talking about the roads being so busy. Well, I don't want to talk about Castries to Grosily. I mean, you see madness there, the show of bikers and so on. I don't see too many of them that they wait until traffic for them to do. I understand all of that. But you see, all over the place, the road is busy. We can't take chances with the road. All over. It's very busy. You're driving from Castries, going down to Dennery and beyond and Vieux-Fort and so on, the East Coast Road and so on. There was a time where when you reach certain places, and somebody was moving slow in front of you, you could make your overtaking move at that point. There are very few of them, that by the time you see the open space, 2, 3, 4 vehicles coming from the other side. The road has become very busy now that you can't take any chance, especially in an area where there are side roads coming into the main one. You might start and you might not see anything, and then somebody seeing it, feeling it's clear, they pulling out just when you're making. Some time ago, I was overtaking somebody on the Millennium Highway, in the part that is approaching the old Cicero landfill and so on. And I made everything good in terms of where I passed, but guess what? That is the exact moment Mr. Cow, Mr. Bull, or Mistress Cow, whatever, decided that they're moving from the side of the sea, the beach, and they're going to cross the road at that point. And I am right alongside the vehicle I'm overtaking parallel, So, and by that time, the person I was overtaking, they stopped because they saw what happened. I didn't want somebody to come from the other side or come from behind me, so I pulled to the right side completely, allowed cow. I'm just saying these are the eventualities. Right now, when you're driving down the East Coast Road, you might pass the Hudson Gap. You might continue down where I think American Drywall have or used to have their business and so on. You take it easy. And then you think that long stretch, that you continue along, that Bexon stretch, where to your right there will be the Twapiton Junction that you call Twapiton-Deglo Junction. But even there, it's so busy sometimes, and it's only for a brief half second you see it clear, and then vehicles are coming. You drive down that area. Sometimes the only places you see are in the Dennery Valley, where you see that it is safe, because everywhere else it is twisting, it is curving, is a whole lot of things that can happen to you. Is when you pass that bridge, the Grand Riviere Bridge, and you make the turn by the how you call that, the Grand Riviere, is it I think it's a secondary school now. You make that turn, there's a stretch there, and there are not too many side roads that somebody might surprise you, that you can take a chance there, although sometimes people come flying down from the Richmond Flat and so on. You have to be very careful. You read the Richmond Flat, it's a nice stretch again, but so many side roads, intersections coming into there, that you might start an overtaking there, and my goodness, it can all go wrong, from the gas station, from the building supply place, from whatever it is, Grand Avin or whatever it is, gaps and so on. It's a whole lot of things. You have to be careful there. The only other place, and I'm talking about between Den and Dennery, I'm not going beyond Dennery, is when you leave Lakai, Lakai Delaide, and you make that turn heading on the flat to go to Fondor. Well, there's a nice stretch of road, and there are no side roads there. So if you can beat somebody to it, you have a chance, of doing it now. But now the road is so busy. I have driven from Castries virtually, all the way to wherever it was, Dennery and beyond, with maybe one vehicle in front of me that's relatively, and I couldn't pass it, because every time you think you're going to make that move to overtake the vehicle, whoop, that's the time. 1, 2, 3 vehicles coming. The road is just busy. And so sometimes I was going to Soufrière one day, and the journey took so long because I just can't pass a couple of trucks carrying LPG, cooking gas and so on. They driving close to each other. I don't want to go and fit myself between those two fellas. Next thing, that's the time their brakes decide to go, and I get pinned and crushed between them and so on. But the road is just so busy, you cannot take chances anymore. If that can happen on the country roads of Dennery and Madeli and Pralin, you pass the Bodily Correctional Facility, sometimes you see road in front of you, but as soon as you turn, somebody might come, usually will come flying. So you have to take it easy. There are many places you can, But of course, there are drivers who deliberately mess up. Is when you're passing them, then they will speed up and so on. We have to be very careful on the road. We can't allow ourselves to be distracted. We can't allow ourselves to become impatient. We can't allow ourselves, on this lights matter. There was a night I was driving, and somebody stopped. They actually stopped, courtesy to let me make a turn, a right turn, so across the line of traffic. But even though they stop, I tooted them and tell them go, because they stop, but the lights on me, I cannot see the junction, those white LED lights and the fog lights. So he doing me one favor, one courtesy, but he don't know. And sometimes you flick your light at them, they don't seem to understand that is absolutely dazzling you and so on, and you cannot see anything. They hold their lights there and so on. And finally, I told him, okay, to him, let him go. And then I went after him and so on, a more reasonable person. This thing has become so totally out of control. So when we have an accident, we don't know what combination of factors was there. We don't know who had rum in their head. We don't know who was distracted driving. We don't know who was being disoriented and dazzled and totally put off by those lights that people are putting on you, and you don't know how to cope with it. And together with it, pedestrians who might decide to just cross the road at that particular point wearing clothing that you don't have a chance to see because you on low beam, while the other guy is dazzling you, while you can't really see what's in between. Your eye is trying to filter out so many high intensity stimuli. You're trying to separate the street light from the person who's dazzling you there, from this, that, and the other, and so on. And at the same time, you have to distinguish that there is a shadow crossing the road at the same time. The visual acquisition, the visual separation, and so on is an absolute nightmare, occurring in well-illuminated nights. So we're in a lot of trouble unless something is done decisively in a very targeted way to deal with those issues. I say there is no substitute for the deterrence of enforcement. Real issues powered by Blue Waters. Let's take a break. And when we come back, I hope I'll have my guest in the studio for a discussion, after which we'll open the phone lines.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
This one will be massive! Legacy 2026, the Independence Edition. Saturday, February 7th, 8 p.m., Rodney Bay Pavilion. It's the big war! Legacy presents one of the Caribbean's greatest artists ever, the undisputed queen of soca, Destra. Yes, Destra Garcia. Destra. Then our groovy giants, Teddyson John, doing his vintage set.
I must have a woman to come and wine up on me.
And King Alpha. Plus the outstanding St. Lucian cast, a mix of legends and rising stars. Ashanti, Educator, Desro, Manchas, Black Eye. Short Pants and more. Legacy 26 will be an epic show. Saturday, February 7th, 8 p.m., Rodney Bay Pavilion. Limited early birds $120. Regular $150. Tickets available at Steve's Barber Shop and The Way. Sponsored by Republic Bank, Massey Store, First Citizen, IBS Solution, Piton Vert, Crystal Clear Water, Flow, and the Independence Committee.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene, vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's ginger turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosley Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosley.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluffs. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM. The man.
Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with The Real Issues, powered by Blue Waters, on this Thursday, day 22 of the new year, of the month of January, that is, in 2026, with me, Shelton Daniel. I'm now going to introduce my guest. Those of you watching us on the TV and on the Facebook Live would probably have seen him already. He is a man who has held many hats. I do remember him in some very exciting days as Executive Director of the newly established Cultural Development Foundation. He's been involved in Calypso, in Carnival, in entertainment for a very long time. The man behind Calypso 25, I remember, very successful show many years ago held at the Pigeon Island National Park. So, who else can pull that off, or would I be introducing but Teddy Francis? This time he's here to talk about something else. Teddy, good afternoon, Happy New Year, and thank you so much once again for The Real Issues.
Thanks, Shelton.
I think it's the first time I'm hosting you here since we moved.
The new building, yeah.
Right,
we're blessing you. We've been, I was regular enough at the old building, Barnard Hill.
Barnard Hill, but now we're inside San Souci. Teddy, what's happening? What's going on? What's on your
this time of year
these days?
If it's February, it's the big show Legacy coming up, and we know it's now the 8th year, Shelton, it's been held. Time flies.
Right.
The 8th year that Legacy, we've tried to continue to build the brand, try to build the product, and get. What we have found is that Legacy, very often independent celebrations were accused, were charged of being too steeped in officialdom, cocktails and ceremonies, some parades, but not enough relevance and excitement for the cross-section of the population. So we think we have graduated. That was one of our aims, that one, to add some early momentum to independence, also the grassroots kind of relevance to it. And so it has, I think we've achieved that, developing to one of the highlights of independence celebration. It's really grown this year. We've tried to build our stable of artists. We keep going a notch higher every year. This year, last year we had Alison Hines and Rupi, two of the great Caribbean artists, and we have a super icon this year in Destrop. Since the release about a week ago, people have been really excited about the choice this year.
Okay,
and
Rupi and Destrop?
Alison was last year.
Alison last year.
The community. This year we're going with Destro by herself. She's a super.
By herself.
And unfortunately,
I think the year before you had what was that?
We had a combination
Short
Short about 5 years ago.
Okay.
We had Beckett in combination with Ras Eiley and Gabby.
Right.
It's powerful. Destra
It's
is
so long since you had George Shelton. My goodness.
yes.
Yeah.
I heard he wasn't well, so I wish he's doing. I hope he's doing better. McLean Emmanuel, the one and only. And so this year with Destra, we've really, in the reaction we've gotten so far that people saying we've gone up a notch. They're really excited about Destra coming here. And fortunately for us, interestingly, she has not been here for over 10 years in us.
Isn't Destra a bit young to be in the category of legacy already?
But her music isn't.
Okay.
Very good point, Shelton. But her music isn't.
Yes.
Very transgenerational. I mean, many of our patrons have been really toddlers when she had her hits. We know, like Bonnie and Clyde, with Marshall, it's Carnival. She had Tremble It, Choo Choo Train.
Yes.
You dabble in DJing a little bit. You would have spun a few of these tunes. Let's not go there, Shelton.
Yes.
You dabble, DJ. What was the DJ name?
I mean, wherever she went, she could be at the Beausejour cricket ground doing a cricket thing.
Yeah.
I mean, she would really be rocking the crowd and so on.
So she's our headliner this year effectively, and we have the balance. So we one of the things we've tried to do is help in stopping the seasonality of calypso. Remember, we had a problem that calypso was only heard of or taken on during carnival time. Legacy has gone a long way in helping to get past that,
Right.
And so there's an opportunity for the Calypsonians. They've really enjoyed it, to get employment, to get exposure. And we've tried, in the true sense of legacy, to have the transfer of knowledge, tradition, and expertise. So the regional icons come. We've had quite a slew. We've had Gabby, Explainer, Baron, Short Shirt, Beckett.
Some real heavy hitters.
Right. And so they have shared the stage and the knowledge with our Invaders, our Ashanti, and the rest. And then there's the middle ground, the people like Arthur and Teddy St. John. They have joined to a different age group who are sharing we always have some youngsters. We had Floopsy last year, Reddy, Mystic. So the absolute young stars, they get to. So it's really a transfer of knowledge. And the cast this year, Destra has really excited people. She's going to be a big hit and really raise the roof. But we have what we call a friendly clash, the fans are calling it. 3 of the greatest exponents of groovy soca, the sweet soca. Arthur Ale, Teddy St. John and Alpha will be on one stage in succession. So let's see. The fans are teasing calling it a clash. Let's see who really thrills the crowd the most on that night. But it's friendly. They're very good friends. Teddy St. John. What we've said is that Teddy St. John of late has used his more contemporary stuff like Ali and Pali. You know them.
Yes.
But we think strongly in the legacy camp that he's even stronger with the old vintage set songs like I Just Want a Woman to Come and Wine Up on Me, Sweet Soca Music, and In This Land of Wine, these songs, We think at Legacy he's going to really flatten the place with these songs. He's on. Arthur Ali, I don't have to tell you anything about Arthur Ali. And Alpha, is the showman. So that will be interesting there. And then we have the likes of Black Eye. You would have been struck.
Black Eye, the body press man.
Body press, Losing Ground.
Yes, all right, okay.
Losing Ground in Ancillary, Losing Ground everywhere.
Yes, man.
Right, and Body Press is a very good song. But written by Jati Anthony, who is really probably the greatest writer we've ever.
I haven't seen or heard from Jati
for a while. But his works speak for themselves.
Right.
Just an amazing talent, the ability to have potent, very powerful social commentary that's danceable. How do you do that, Shelton? You have a nation dancing Juve, Rude Mat style to very powerful commentary. Maliwe, Body Press.
We had a winning calypso at one time.
Yes.
That was actually a party song.
Lots of them, party songs. And then the relevance now and how powerful. That song, Rambo Diplomacy, it was written 20 years ago thereabout and has gone full circle. Can it be more relevant and poignant now?
Quite true.
The lyrics speak of nation fighting against nation, big fish, small fish, invasion after invasion, naked aggression they unleash. I swear, it belongs, it was written now, like a few days ago. And Black Eye, it's again a very danceable, amazing commentary on world affairs, but danceable, what I'm saying? People, and so that is the power. I remember being between media, straddling media and director of culture. And the guy called Luther from Trinidad, the monarch there, came here to do a seminar. And he's saying, but a seminar, what am I doing here? He says, you'll have something nobody has, not Trinidad and Tobago. Your Soca Monarch I went to last night at Marshall Grounds had 20 songs. All of them had a meaning and a story. It wasn't just one turn, jump and wave. They all had a story, whether it be Sugar by Spice, Chip Wine by Her Black, Belelesh by Invader. A nice story. You see what I'm saying? It wasn't just gratuitous revelry.
Yes.
And he says, but 20 party songs all have a nice story and meaning. In Trinidad, that time was just jump and wave,
True,
you know.
yeah.
And so we had something powerful.
Even in the best days of guys like Iwa and so
yes,
on.
Raise your water, one line for a whole 5 minutes.
Yes.
We were much richer, you know. And so that comes across in legacy. We have your boy Ashanti, of course, is there.
Yes.
Educator, Protas Ogis will very much there.
So let me tell you, that sounds like
and Short Pants, Damian Greaves.
A lot of openers, you know.
Damian Greaves, is here. Remember Haiti?
Yes, he is. So
Haiti,
he'll be performing.
He'll be performing,
also?
yeah.
Wow.
For Sister Haiti. Remember that?
I mean,
Haiti.
Yeah, of course, yes, I remember that. Then why not speak out loudly? Do something for Sister Haiti.
You're turning up your requirement. Yeah. So that combination, and then the middle ground, as you see. What we're having too. Some of these classics, we have youngsters singing 2 verses and then joined by the icon. That goes down very well.
Right.
So they join the icon in a kind of tribute. They sing the first 2 and then the icon comes on to finish off with them. We did that with Robbie, Lady Lynn. So really and really, we're looking forward to there's an announcer, popular announcer who keeps teasing me. See, but tell you that show is worth $150.
That's what I'm saying there.
Minimum.
That's like a lot of bang for.
But it's the people's thing and independence. So we're doing only $120 for the early bird. The early bird, we remind them, and it goes to regular $150. Still a giveaway for that kind of cast.
It's a lot. It's a lot, I must say.
And Destra is about the most hits in that soca scene. She has about 25, not just good song, but major.
I mean, that doesn't sound like a 2-hour show at all.
We produce it well. Yeah. And so what we do, Shelton, good you raised that. We try to have the artists, so you don't sing all 4 verses. It's nostalgia. Okay. Once you've touched the nerve and the crowd up in the air, 2, maximum 3 verses enough. You move to another song, you know. So you don't do the whole 4 verses. Otherwise, you go to.
Although Destra, when she comes in and her energy is up
and the crowd.
Is that difficult person to go down the stage? You know,
we're asking the crowd.
When you see the fire get into her blood.
We're asking who are the favorite Destra, and they couldn't tell us at all. They just, I'm spoiled for choice, you know. So it's $120, the early bird, $150 for the regular. Steve's Barber Shop, of course. Then you can't go through Steve and not succeed. And then there's the Wave Up North. So we have the uptown and downtown venues for the tickets. And as I said, very limited. Early bird will be finished very soon. Nice coincidence, the paydays around now, of course. The government payday around now.
Should be.
Government, NBC payday too, around now too.
Yeah, 23. I'm not telling you our business.
Shelton, but the investigative journalist can be investigated. The experience. So 120, early bird 150, and then you get them now. They're really going quickly, you know.
Okay.
Before they go to 150, and then we tell the ladies the unwritten rule is people dress nicely to come there. You know, it's not a cocktail or a ball, but you dress nicely. And we have a little prize this year for the judges. See the first best dressed 5 ladies.
How would you describe that? Decently casual?
We call it
the elegant.
We call it legacy chic.
All right.
Legacy chic. They know what it means, you know.
All right. And people will have a good interpretation of.
They know it. They've been there.
All right. Okay.
Legacy chic.
So the way you added, that's a model for them. That's the kind of thing. If they show up, you won't frown at them.
If a fella come in, that'll be all right. Your technician say the shit not easy at all.
So give us some of the particulars again. The date, the time,
the venue. Rodney Bay Pavilion.
Okay.
We've kind of graduated from the cultural center for nice demographic kind of dynamic there. The different set of people being attracted to the show. Uptown, younger ones too. We've a nice melange of the calypso and soca. We drifted to the groovy soca they prefer. And then also it's seating provided for all patrons. There's seating, but. So
why is it that I said about date? You jump, you say venue, like you know.
No, venue important.
Okay, venue.
Date.
Give us
February 7th, Saturday, February 7th. Important. You're right, Shelton. Saturday, February 7th from 8 p.m. We start on time always. Saturday, February 7th, 8 p.m., Roddy B Pavilion. Seating provided, but of course, invariably, they push the chairs aside and do the little dancing. You can see it in the ad that they're dancing. And
this kind of music is not music as
it's not.
I mean, people are going to want to do a little bit of get on back.
But it's nostalgia. It's a mature crowd. So you have the option of sometimes the knees give a little bit, the little, you know.
Yes, and
4 hours standing is a little much. We try to go, our window really 8 to 12:30, and nice and packed intermission. So by 1 o'clock latest, you're out, you know, and they enjoy it. It's a big do for the mature crowd that keep protesting that they and clamoring for events that they can't feel comfortable at. So it's one of the few they come through there, you know.
Saturday, February.
Might be your first one, Shelton. Legacy might be, maybe one. Who knows? Who knows? But
I'm sure you'd say I need to get out some more, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you agree. That you need to get out some more. Shelton Daniel, been a pleasure. You asked me to get details again. Tickets 120.
Yes, and where are the tickets available?
Steve's Barbershop and the Wave.
Steve Barbershop and the Wave.
The Wave. And the cast again is a Destra. People super excited. The superstar, Caribbean superstar. Destra is the headliner. We have Arthur, Alpha, Teddyson John, Ashanti, Educator, Desrel, the reigning monarch. Big respect to him. He's on there. It's almost a custom, a kind of right of the reigning monarch. We always try to make sure they on respect to the monarchy, you know. And then we have Manchas Casabo.
Oh yeah, okay. So I haven't heard.
But he's a man, you see, in our kind of legacy, and so he earns his place. He's a double OECS Soca monarch. Remember that? He won.
Sure,
we making love, things like. Make her run. No, you should know that song. You know that song? Make her run.
Make her run is Fonty, eh?
No. Make her run is Manchas. Make her run. Fonty had Tupai C Tupala. Yeah.
Sorry.
Same era.
I'm confusing what Fonty did with about he was looking in the hole and he was a noise, make some noise.
Yeah. I remember that.
That's right.
Manchas is Make her run. Fire burn them.
Yes.
But the opponents of Carnival, and he had his. Making
but
love.
Some people might say somebody might buy Desrel. That tempo isn't really his.
Which one?
Desrel. They might say that the show, the kind of.
No, Desrel has the car, which is the fast song, but he has Calypso too. Remember, He has Legacy. He remember his Calypso Monarch too. Eh?
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah,
but I'm just saying, some people might say his projection, maybe that kind of Destro kind of thing. And
no. He come. Remember the show. Good point you're raising. Right. Yeah, the show is staggered. No, the show is staggered. You started more commentary.
Is it a case where by default the Calypso monarch of the time, you want to give him that kind of?
We try to. But
you believe he also can pull his own.
But he has been on Legacy 3 times. You know, he's been and then he either does the commentary or his father's very good, very memorable hit. Abagoj, remember?
Yes.
He sings it very well. A little better than his father now.
Right.
In fact,
can you imagine 2 more years? I think, and Abagoj will be a 40-year-old hitter.
Yes. You're right, Shelton. About the 88, 87. You're right. Yeah. 40 years. What?
I'm saying a couple more years, and it's gonna hit 40.
Yeah. And in fact, here's a quick story on his entry. His foray. We had an idea on our team to invite the father-son combination.
Yes.
And they sang Abagoj together. It thrilled the audiences. They went crazy. Abagoj. And the following year, when Pep was due to sing on Legacy, he was not well. Following, I think, some COVID complications. He wasn't able to sing. And the son sang Abagoj in his place. They did very well.
Yes.
That brought the idea from the Legacy team to Rowan C on the right. So Pep is not well and recovering. Why not let the son sing the material? Hence the song Legacy. And he's won, 3 times now? So it's a nice little,
Wonderful, yeah.
I don't see that.
He only keeps getting better.
I find.
There's no question about that.
Certainly you follow anything, man. We don't see you there, but you follow anything.
You're supposed to have a broad. I maybe don't get all the facts and fundamentals right and so on. But I follow them. You're supposed to have a broad, rounded knowledge of what's happening in the sphere and in that sort of thing,
Yes, Shelton, thank you for the time and space again.
Yes.
It is, you have the date by now? I saw it on February 7th.
February the 7th from 8 p.m. at the
Rodney Bay Pavilion. Destra headlining and outstanding St. cast, Alpha, Teddyson John and the rest.
Early bird tickets, 120, and if you
regular,
try
150. Steve's in downtown, and uptown is the Wave.
Right.
We're good. Thanks, Shelton.
All right,
See you at Legacy. See you at Legacy.
All right, I wish you the very best with it. And so
thanks.
You just may see me, who knows?
Who knows? Thanks, Shelton.
One full week before Valentine's and so on. So I suppose
that's true. A week again we'd have been on Valentine's. Oh, that'd be an interesting
and then a week
scene.
again, you're talking about independence. So it looks like February.
That's why I said it provides early momentum to independence.
Yes.
It gets the ball going, and then the relevance to people of independence, the people,
So long, all right. It's
Thanks,
always a pleasure having you on the program. Let's take the break, and when we come back, I think we'll have, be ahead of ourselves a little bit in terms of the time slot available, and we'll begin taking the calls and looking at the messages as well.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with big issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
will be massive. Legacy 2026, the Independence Edition, Saturday, February 7th, 8 p.m., Rodney Bay Pavilion. It's the big war. Legacy presents one of the Caribbean's greatest artists ever, the undisputed queen of soca, Destra. Yes, Destra Garcia. Destra. Then our groovy giants, Teddyson John, doing his vintage set.
I must have a woman to come and wine up on me.
And King Alpha. Plus the outstanding St. Lucian cast, a mix of legends and rising stars. Ashanti, Educator, Desro, Manchus, Black Eye. Short pants and more. Legacy 26 will be an epic show. Saturday, February 7th, 8 p.m., Rodney Bay Pavilion. Limited early birds $120. Regular $150. Tickets available at Steve's Barbershop and The Way. Sponsored by Republic Bank, Massey Store, First Citizen, IBS Solution, Piton Bear, Crystal Clear Water, Flow, and the Independence Committee.
Come on, come on again. Friday night.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene, vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway. Call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosley Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosley.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluffs. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with The Real Issues on this Thursday, 22nd January 2026. The telephone lines are open for your calls. You can WhatsApp call us using this mobile number. Listen carefully. 758 is the area code, of course. 487-9849. That's 487-9849. WhatsApp call us on that number. And you can call us on the local landline, which is 4533911. Okay, you got that? 4533911. The local landline number. And 487-9849. That is the number on which you can WhatsApp call us. Good afternoon to you. Muriel, who always sends me nice messages. She sends two. She says, good afternoon to you, my dear friend. Please do have a bright one. Blessings to you. Love and greetings to you. And then she sends a second one. Good afternoon to you, my dear friend. Wishing you all the best today. Have a great one. Blessings all over you. Stay safe. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that. If one person loves me, it's this lady. Okay, we got a caller on the WhatsApp line. Let's take that one as our first. You're on the air. Go ahead. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, you're on the air. Go ahead, my friend.
Hello, good day.
Yeah, hello, Nukata no, Pali.
Yeah, oh, Shelton, yes. All right. Somebody else was online. Okay. Oh, first and foremost, I want to send sympathy to Honorable Alva Baptiste, the passing of his dad.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
2 days ago. Yeah.
But I want to join also if what I'm taking
that the young man that perished in the accident, Brooklyn.
Yes.
Sympathy greetings. He is a personal friend of mine. And I just want to touch on why I'm at it. Drivers, let us be a bit more conscious. It is being said every day that we see the reckless driving what it leads to. So as a motorist myself, I'm appealing to the drivers out there. Let us be a little more cautious, be careful. It's better we arrive alive than we rush and we end up in the poorhouse. So I just want to send that message across. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, Shelton.
All right, thank you very much. Yes. And I don't know, the alcohol thing, we need to watch that. Nobody's telling don't drink your drink, but if you are going to have a vehicle and you're going to go out and you have to drive a distance, have someone with you who is the non-drinking designated driver. It's a very serious thing, especially when it happens at night, when you have intoxication and you already have the disorientation, the visual confusion caused by those lights and so on, that people are putting all over you. You are probably tired, you are intoxicated. All those things, they potentiate each other in terms of making the situation worse than your ability. Your reflexes, the time it will take for you to lift your foot off the accelerator to the brakes. It may seem like it's the same thing. It's not. Alcohol doesn't only impair judgment, it retards your responses and your reflexes. That has been proven in tests and so on. Stop this macho thing. Not me. I could drink as much as I want and that doing me nothing. I still drive in my vehicle and I safe and I okay. Yeah, there's this macho thing where we always want to feel like we have everything under control. We don't. Tiredness is tiredness. Sleepiness is sleepiness. You want to sleep. Being impaired and having, a retardation of your responses and all of that. It happens. It's real. You're human. You're not made of iron. Even if you're made of iron, iron's properties can be affected by rust, by heat, by, being melting and becoming brittle and a whole lot of things. Well, that is the effect of when you sleep deprived and you have alcohol intoxication and so on and a whole lot of different things that act on you. You should not be in control of a vehicle weighing a half ton or 1 ton and moving at 60, 70 miles an hour and that sort of thing. You should not be. Where you are oblivious to road conditions, whether it rained and the road surface is wet and a little tap of the brakes on tires that are already not good, that are bald, that are smooth, that have almost all their tread lost and this kind of thing and so on. It's not going to come to a stop all of a sudden. It is not going to behave the way you would like it to behave in those conditions. The vehicle has its own limitations, its design limitations. It has limitations imposed by the level of maintenance it has and so on. Are the tires good? Are they working? What are the road conditions? Are the road conditions themselves good? You complain about the potholes and, a whole lot of different things. And so let's look out for each other, friends. Talk to one another, you young men and so on, when you're by the gas station, blowing drink after drink. One beer missing, but it's not one you're having. It's a whole dozen. It's how many six-packs. It has a cumulative effect on you. It is affecting you. You begin to hit 1, 2, 3 in the morning. Do some little research and you'll find out there is a time of the early morning where no matter how hard you try, it's almost impossible for you to keep your eyes open, to stay awake. It's a problem they recognize in airlines with pilots. I think it is called WICR, window of circadian rhythm. You know, it's almost impossible no matter what you do. Anyway, I see a call was coming in. Okay, let's see. Let's get that call. Real Issues, you're on the air. Go ahead. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine. My question is not really to you, but to the authorities. What amount of alcohol is acceptable? Or should it be no alcohol at all when it comes to driving?
I think
when it comes to minibus drivers.
Sorry, go ahead.
We know there are persons that will say, you know, if I drink 2 beers, it will not affect my attention on the road. So what amount is acceptable, or should it be no alcohol at all? And by now, we were supposed to have breathalyzers and speed guns on our road. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, okay, thank you very much. You know, I was under the impression that we had the breathalyzer thing there already. I don't know why people, now I'm hearing that we don't have it. I thought it's years we had that. You know, that they would breathalyze a test and so on. Or did we have it, but we did not have the supporting legislative framework to go with it, so that by the time you reach court, your magistrate, it seemed, was waiting for you, you know, to throw that out because it did not have the legal underpinning or undergirding to go. Including the speed gun we talk about. I remember driving to Vieux-Fort, and when I reached this area, past where the man makes the local wines and so on, how you call it? Is that 1 year, or is that... Are you already at Savannah? I kind of forget, you know, where is 1 year, where is Savannah, where is, you know, a whole lot of different places and so on that you have to. I think maybe this area is 1 year, I think so. But you're driving in that area, and I remember a policeman flagged me down, and he was pointing something at me, and he showed me, so are you aware that the speed limit, we talk about, you know, the official speed limit on our highways, I think it's 30 miles an hour. You know, that's the official. You go in beyond that, you can get charged, you know. Of course, many people, and maybe most people, go above that speed, but in open areas that are not built up, that don't have schools, and maybe if you're doing it, they would have traffic management things like speed bumps and whatever there and so on. But he flagged me and he said, "Sir, you realize this is it?" And he showed me the reading on the speed gun, some radar gun or whatever it was. He said, "You're going at 68 miles an hour," you know, and you know, I'm going to let you off with a warning, but just letting you know, and not because it's an open road and it's clear, and that's a long time ago you're talking. He showed me that I was going at 68. You understand what I'm saying? And now, if the speed limit is 30, and I think if you're in, say, in the middle of town, whatever, heavily, you know, dense area and so on for pedestrians and other traffic, I think it's 20. Don't quote me on that. You know, sometimes I just speak off the top of my head, but I think the official speed limit on our roads is 30 miles an hour. And he pointed something at me, and he came and he said, "Look, you know, I just saw you come in, and I just decided to do a speed gun or whatever on you and so on, and you're at 68 miles an hour." All right, I never saw him before. You know, in advance, he pointed that thing. He captured my speed on it, and then, you know, he flagged me. Thankfully, I'm not the type to drive off on cops, because he might, you know, whatever the device he was using might have captured my number. Which is why I'm saying, when people are driving with those crazy lights and doing all of those things, are there not electronic devices that, even though it's nighttime and they're on bright, a cop can just point it at them and capture something that talks about the intensity of the light, the lumens, or whatever the measuring thing is, you know, the lumens of your light and so on at this particular time. So you were driving, which clearly shows, you know, you didn't dim your light on approach to other traffic or to oncoming traffic or to pedestrians. I don't know, you know, sometimes the technology is there. But we have a caller waiting. Real Issues.
Good afternoon, Shelton. Good afternoon.
Hey, I haven't heard this voice for a long time.
Yes, Shelton, imagine you just talked. I just did something that you are just talking about there. I am on the highway coming from Hartford, Connecticut, Shelton. And I so sleepy. I just get off the highway went into a spot there just to go and take at least a half an hour rest.
Okay. Into a what you went?
There is a hotel area there.
Okay.
Like a stop.
Okay.
I just pull up in the driveway there.
Right.
Just to take a half an hour rest. Because
right.
my eyes seeing 4, 5, 6 cars in front of me when there is only one. Shelton, I ain't taking them kind of risk.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and to hear you talking about that, I mean, and we have highways, not highway we don't have it. I mean, but you have a 6-7 lane vehicle driving on there.
Right.
And I'm falling asleep there. You know what problems that could really cause me?
Yes.
Yeah, and I just pull off the highway. I just say to myself, no, let me get off the highway. Let me find myself a place. Let me rest.
Yeah.
Before I can move again.
And sometimes when you take the rest, you realize it's not a whole lot of time you spent. When you take it, you close your eyes, you get up, you think that maybe you've been asleep you realize it's just 15 minutes. It's 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Sometimes just a little moment, to just quell the eye fatigue, because all the stimuli of lights and vehicles whizzing by and all the things you need to watch out for, it is causing eye and mental fatigue. You just need just a little moment to just refresh and rest and relax yourself,
Just a little 5 minutes, my friend.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to be all right.
Yes.
But I said to myself, no, I'm not staying on that highway. Let me get out. And I'm hearing you talking about that.
Yeah, because you can. One of the things you mentioned, you can get yourself in serious trouble. That serious trouble includes losing your own life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But I think that's the first time I'm calling you for the year.
Yes.
Happy New Year to everybody.
Yes.
Happy New Year to you.
Same to you.
Let me take my 5 Shelton.
Yes.
And for me to start hitting the road again.
Okay, sure. All the best to you and your family.
All right, thank you.
Okay, I haven't heard this. Right, it's a little while I haven't heard from Bernard Haynes, and I know it's because he's been so busy with his work, the construction business that is involved in, and I think he also has his little side thing also of taxi, providing taxi. That's why he has to be on the road quite a lot, all right? And he's a very reliable man. All right, I think we're getting another call coming on the WhatsApp line. So let's take that call. Real issues. Somebody who normally has a habit of waiting to be the last caller, I think has learned a lesson, has become more disciplined now and so on, and calling when there's an opportunity. I don't know if it's that person, but, I just remembered, such a person who has shown great change in a positive way. Real issues, you're on the air.
Good afternoon, Mr. Shelton Daniel.
Good afternoon to you.
Precisely and exactly what the Guamun called chokant. Uka chen lavi mwe minabu. Okupan, met temadwe. Bernard Gakuye first time na pulania because busy ka fe la ha. Ma hope ivo ada la saba.
All right, power Monday ka ifesa.
Ok, pas de problème.
Quand il y a nous dit ça, SP pour enveloppe là.
Non, à présent ça like a fait comme quoi qui a dormi.
Okay, all right. Il y a pour enveloppe là, il y a pour enveloppe là, pas moi on comprend so. Tout fait qu'il bien garder compte, vous comprenez?
Okay.
What's on your mind today?
Shelton, the madness and the carnage on the roads. I don't know. I don't know why we are like this, why we have gotten like this, why we are where we are today. I thought that drive to arrive alive. Don't put other people in danger because of your recklessness. And one of the things is this. We fail to accept that the person who's created the accident is the one who's at fault. You understand? Everywhere you pass, and nowadays you look the overtaking anywhere, anytime, dilly-dallying. The vehicles you find most involved in accidents is this. The Swifts, the Fits.
Yeah, I see them too. The small, compact, what I would say, maybe a lot of people have them. They're affordable cars. They're probably the cars of first-time vehicle owners, young men and so on who find And
the other problem, Shelton, those first-time vehicle owners are excited that they are owners of vehicles. We're happy for you.
Yeah.
They are also excited that they have a driver's license. We're happy for you too. But when you are on the road and you are driving, allow us to be happy for you that you're driving responsibly.
Yeah.
Look, a man is now, he had to have 2 surgeries. One had to be put on hold because they can't get enough blood for him. All he was doing was driving home. Driving passengers home. He was on his lane. And he's now at the hospital in pain.
Yeah.
Because somebody chose, not accidentally was reckless. Somebody chose to be reckless because he have a Swift and he driving.
Yeah.
So we have to be real about those issues.
Yeah. You know, it's many, many years that there have been statistics that have shown that the majority of people involved in those types of accidents, that they are young people within a certain age, you know, within a certain age range, or within a certain period of time since they have been drivers, you understand? So it's kind of early, both in terms of the absolute chronology and in terms of the demographic and so on. And I think another thing about young people are imbued with a sense of invincibility, you might say, or you know, we have everything.
Yeah.
We have everything under control. Nothing could go wrong. A sense of endless life, and you know, we own this. We have this. We control this. The world is at our fingertips and at our feet. And I think that can easily lure them into calamity. Wrap up as quickly as you can because we have another caller on the other line. Yeah?
Yes, I'm done. Bye.
Oh, okay, thank you very much. All right, let's see if we have this caller. Real Issues.
Hello.
Yes, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Shelton.
Yes, my friend.
The lady who just spoke a while ago is so correct with everything that she said, Shelton. The only thing that she excluded from that is that, and let me just phrase it that way, a lot of these people who do all this foolishness on the roads are from out of town, Shelton. Out of town from the perspective that you live in a small community. You may not necessarily have the best of roads. Your roads may be very narrow. The minute that these people start driving towards Beaufort town or out of Beaufort going on a concrete road, it is just like you drop a child in a supermarket, they see the space and they're running all over. That's exactly what they do, Shelton. Our young people have to be more responsible, Shelton. They have to be more responsible. Government can't do everything for them. They have to be responsible for themselves and their lives. And the reason why you have the Swift and all these small vehicles involved in the accident is because they believe that they have a small vehicle. They will be able to drive between vehicles no matter how small the space is. They'll be able to do all of that. You understand? All of that. Please, just make the appeal to them to be careful whenever we get the opportunity. To be careful on our roads, Shelton. Just be careful. Too many young people are dying or getting involved or injuring other persons. We cannot afford that, Shelton. Okay? Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, we continue taking your calls on 487-9849. You can WhatsApp call us there. And you can call us on the landline, which is where the last call just came through, 4533-911. Now, let me just see if I have any other messages that I needed to read. In fact, I did forward this one to the Minister, Honorable Stevenson King, where someone said yesterday, "Good afternoon, Shelton. I am sending this message to Mr. Stevenson King. There is a man called," and they give his name, "who lives in Agad Mondudon, who has both of his feet amputated and really needs, I think they call the false leg, but the prosthetic legs. So I want him to help him as soon as possible. Please, his number is," and they give the man's number, which I don't want to give out right here. I like I said, I forwarded this to the Minister on, I think I had 2 numbers for him, and I gave it. All right, another person asked a question. In this case, speaking about Alan Shastney, they said, "Hi Shelton, if my memory serves me right, in the last sitting, didn't the speaker acknowledge his absence through writing?" I can't really remember. Maybe it did. You know, top by Putet Masachi. And they said in this case, with Chasney not yet sworn in, does he have the legal authority to appoint opposition senators? Do we have unconstitutional opposition senators? No, we don't, because Chasney does not appoint the senators. You know, I mean, he can recommend them. It is the Governor General who appoints the senators in consultation with the Prime Minister, with the leader of the opposition. Now, while Chasney may not be formally sworn in, but it is known that one, he's the only person who's eligible to be leader of the opposition. Nobody else. He's duly elected. The moment that declaration was made by the returning officer declaring the seat in Miko South, Chasney became the duly elected member. Being the only opposition member, he is the automatic. He can't decline to be leader of the opposition. He's the only elected member of the parliament who does not support the government. So that immediately, as far as we know, makes him the leader of the opposition. And since of his eligibility to be leader of the opposition, the formality of his swearing in does not need to wait for the appointment of the senators. He would have communicated to the government, who would have received the writs, and that is why it's called a returning officer. The Governor General, you know, issues the writs of elections, and the returning officers, they return those writs. You know, that's why it's a returning officer, the electoral official who's responsible for a constituency, or in the official parlance, the electoral district. And he returns them to the Governor General. So the Governor General knows, based upon the writs that he issued, which have now been returned to him by the returning officer, that Alan Chasney has been duly and lawfully elected as the Member of Parliament, and that Alan Chasney, being in the position that he is the sole representative of the opposition, even if he has not been officially sworn in, but the Governor General would have had his recognition of him and so on. So I don't think it's unconstitutional senators. It's not Chasney who appoints them. He can, as we say in consultation, consult. The Governor General can consult him, and in consultation with him can have. You know, you can't stop the business of the country because of, you know, some little technicality, nitty-gritty and so on, that really otherwise is a foregone conclusion. Now that's my opinion I'm giving you there, etc. The Governor General cannot be hamstrung from appointing opposition senators simply because, now we don't know that the Governor General has not consulted with Alan Chasney or whatever it is. I don't know that. I don't know what discussions have been had, etc., etc. But to kind of hold the country constitutionally hostage, I don't think this is something. The Governor General is supposed to be the person who is able to take actions to prevent this kind of constitutional gridlock from holding the country hostage and so on. It gives the Governor General the power and the authority to do those things. Let me see that. The government of the OECS, or I think they meant the governments of the OECS, are we seeing a call there? The governments of the OECS need to do something about inter-regional travel. I think they meant intra-regional travel within the region. The cost needs to go down. The taxes on the tickets are too high. It's very easy to say that, and I think over the years everything has been done to see, including governments foregoing charges for airport service charge and departure tax. But let's face it, a lot of those airports have had to go through upgrades in order to be able to handle the traffic types and the security and a whole lot of things. And it costs a lot of money. You know, governments have to find a way to fund the development and redevelopment and upgrades of airports and so on. So, you know, people always look at the taxes basis. There's been increases in fuel prices. There's been a whole lot of things that move the needle when it comes to ticket prices, the cost that airlines have to think for refleeting, for security, for so many different things that I don't know that anybody can wave a magic wand and just say, look, I'm ordering you to cut the ticket prices by 30%. I don't know that it can work that way. People, no matter what we do, the redevelopment and upgrade of Iwanora International Airport, etc., and so many other things, they are costing money, and governments cannot be expected to just foot the bill without the end user, aka the passenger and so on, having to bear the cost of it. Most times in any system of free market and so on, and even without, the end user, the customer pays. Do we have a call on the line? Hi, you're on the air. Go ahead.
How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing okay. How about
Good,
you?
good. I've listened to quite a bit of persons reference the accidents and all of that on the road. And you know, I was driving, so I come to a stop at this time. So I think I can speak for the minute and a half I have left. It's so much. A lot of persons purchase vehicles and they believe that they must max the speedometer. But guess what? Although it may sound a bit harsh, but then this is just the reality. If you have your accident on your own, you kill yourself, you injure yourself, or you know this kind of thing, then we'll say, okay, but when you have the accident and somebody else who was minding their business on their own time, you hit them. You change the life of a community, not just the person. Not just the person. Because the person you hit, the person that got involved, the person with a broken leg, that person would have been contributing to some way or the other in the community. And I believe we are at a stage in St. Lucia where we need to bring persons back every 2 or 4 years, whatever the cause might be, to revisit the knowledge of the highway code. Because a lot of the accidents are senseless, and you put in pressure on the police, on the ministry, on the fire service, the emergency person, and also an inconvenience to me and you, Mr. Sheldon and Felino, persons who are about their day-to-day business, driving at the 30 to 40 miles an hour, where they need be occasionally at 5 miles an hour. So I'm only hoping that persons can understand if you're leaving Grosley to go to Castries, you know it takes an hour and a half. Give yourself an hour and 45 minutes, at least 10 minutes to repair a flat tire if you have.
Okay.
Or an extraordinary noise beneath your vehicle. Do not try to take an hour from Castries to Viewport. You will do something that will create havoc in the lives of many other persons that you had no intention to do.
All right. Thank you very
I'm hoping
much.
that we come together as a nation and not say, "Lemwe mo mo fini." Even your own death, when you cause your own death, you are creating pain and hardship on the lives of many St. Lucians.
Yes. Thank you very much.
I'm only hoping the young persons and those, not just the young, we have some older persons driving careless too.
Yes.
But at my ripe age, I enjoy driving at the speed limit, and just there's so much that you don't see when you're driving fast that you get to see.
All right. Thank you very much. Wise advice from someone who's been there and who has seen it come and go and from a
I am
perspective.
approaching 60, I'm
Okay.
just a little humor to it.
All right then. Okay.
I'm approaching 60. And if you go according to the Bible, which I don't preach Bible to anybody, it's up to you to decide what you want to do, you and your boss. But the Bible says 70 years you're given, and you must die. That's one thing that must happen.
Okay.
Everybody must die.
Okay.
But if God gave me 70, I'm approaching 60, technically I just have a little over 10 left. Why
Okay.
should I hasten to make the 10?
That's true.
I have to go. So I
Makes
have to spend as much as possible to enjoy life on earth for when they call on me.
Yes.
And I think the young persons have to realize that 18, 19, minus that from 70, they realize they have a whole life ahead of them.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much. Now, we may have to wrap up now in terms of the regular program, but I got a good offer from Honorable Claudius Francis, which I don't want to pass up on today. I don't want to leave it. He says, you can call me if you want clarification on what you are speaking about. So, Jaquan, I'm going to call him now. If the lotto cuts in, we'll ask him to stay on the line, and you'll give me a little time on the other side of 2 o'clock that we can speak about it. Yeah, Mr. Speaker, good afternoon. Thank you so very much for your generous offer. We may be close to wrapping up the program, but if the lotto which comes on live cuts in, I'm asking you if you will bear the patience to stay with us until that ad is out of the way for us to continue. I gather you want to help us with some clarification pertaining to the leader of the opposition and the appointment of opposition senators in that regard. But the lotto has come on, so please, I'm begging you, stay on the line.
Double Daily Grand, 10, 12, 16, 22. Big 4, 7, 7, 6, 3. Big 4 Multi-X, 2X. Pick 2, 1, 3. Pick 2 Multi-X, 3X. 1 off, 2, 7, 6. Lucky 3, 3, 7, 0. Lucky 3 Multi-X, 3X.
All right, thank you so very much, Jaquan. And once again, let's, with advanced thanks, say welcome to the Speaker of the St. Lucia House of Assembly, Honorable Claudius J. Francis. Go ahead, please.
Right. So then I think the fundamental error people are making is to believe that you need to be sworn in as a senator before you can be called a senator. You become a senator when you receive your instruments of appointment from the Governor General.
Right.
And senators are appointed 3 ways: on the advice of the Prime Minister, on the advice of the Leader of the Opposition, and the Governor General acting in his own volition after consulting the trade unions, the Chamber of Commerce, NGOs, etc.
Right.
So this is the 3 ways one gets to be a senator. I'll just point out before I go to the substantive question that only the Governor General has the authority to appoint a senator who is a minister of religion. Both the Prime Minister and the opposition leader abide by the Constitution from recommending such a person. But the Governor General, because the law speaks to consultations with trade unions, Christian Council, etc., has no such limitations.
Okay.
With regard to Mr. Shastney being the leader of the opposition, again, that has nothing to do with the sitting of the House. What the Constitution speaks to is, first of all, the appointment of the Prime Minister is the person who commands the majority of all the elected members. So all 17, the Prime Minister must command the majority of the total 17.
Right.
The leader of the opposition is more restrictive. He is the person who commands the majority of those who do not support the government. Now, one could have argued prior to the appointment of the cabinet that the members for Castries Central and Castries North were not part of the St. Lucia Labour Party and therefore could not automatically be deemed as being supportive of the government. However, once the Prime Minister announced his cabinet, and that cabinet included these 2 individuals, they could no longer be deemed as not supportive of the government.
Okay.
And therefore that left only Mr. Shastney as the person not supportive of the government. And Mr. Shastney would have written to the Governor General. The Governor General, upon receiving that letter, could do one of 2 things. He, after all, lives in St. Lucia and does know the results of the election. Or he could have further inquired from members whether or not they were members who did not support the government. And that has been done before. You would recall when Stephenson King was leader of the opposition, the other members wrote to the Governor General advising that, well, one member wrote to the Governor General advising that she had now received the support of the majority and therefore Stephenson King had to be removed as governor, as
the leader of the opposition.
Leader of the opposition.
Right.
The Governor General did her own inquiries and was satisfied that that was the case, and it was only then she made the appointment. So Alan Shastney is properly constituted as the opposition leader. It's like the cabinet. You do not wait for the parliament to meet to appoint the cabinet. You appoint your cabinet from among those who have won elections,
right,
and those who have been appointed senators.
Right.
And there has never been an instance in St. Lucia where the House meets before the cabinet is appointed.
Okay.
Cabinet is always appointed first.
Right.
Then the House meets. When the House meets and you are sworn in, the only difference between a member of parliament before the House meets and subsequent to the House meeting is the ability to debate in the House.
Okay.
Absent of being sworn in, you cannot debate in the House.
Right.
Because the words of the Constitution clearly state that at the first sitting of Parliament, the only thing members can do before being sworn in is to elect a speaker.
Okay.
That's the only right they have in the House before being sworn in.
Okay.
So they elect the Speaker. That election is conducted by the Clerk of Parliament.
Okay.
The Speaker then takes over and causes the election of the Deputy Speaker.
Mm-hmm.
Following the election of the Deputy Speaker, members are then sworn in. And it is only at that point a member can participate in debate in the House.
Okay.
Similar process in the Senate. So there is nothing unconstitutional or improper about Mr. Shastney's appointment as leader of the opposition.
All right.
And if his appointment as leader is proper, then so too is his appointment or his nomination of the 3 senators.
Okay. Thank you so very much, Honorable Claudius Francis, for once again, bringing clarity and enlightenment in subjects of this nature, which can sometimes have our heads spinning. But we are grateful that you were able to bring your knowledge of those matters to bear in terms of helping the public get a better grasp. Thanks a lot. All the best to you, sir.
Okay, take care. Bye-bye.
All right, and folks, I think we've crossed over on the other side of the normal end of our program. Thank you very much for staying with us, and we hope that it has been helpful to you. Thank you, Jaquan, for another great job with the technicals. And until tomorrow, same time from 12:30 until 2 p.m. for another run of The Real Issues powered by Blue Waters. This is Shelton Daniel signing out.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff.